Yeah, this was a much harder reboot than I had been anticipating.
What do you mean harder? Like tougher to watch or harder?
No, I
They
mean
went for
like
it.
they went for really a radically different idea, you know.
Yeah, I'd agree to that.
So it wasn't that I was sitting here like they ruined it or this was a bridge too far. It was more that I kept thinking like this is nothing like any of the originals. We've got character names, situations, not even a lot of situations. The only situation is that mom works at a retail store. Like there, it's not even a good guy doll anymore.
It's a buddy doll. But
Yeah.
we needed to do something with the name. I feel like that's what. Is that like what Spider-Man's deal is? They have to make a movie or something. Otherwise, the rights
Oh,
get unlicensed or something.
that is an interesting theory. I had not looked into it. I didn't know what
Same.
any of the reasoning was, but
I mean, it's not like I'm telling my score, but
mhm.
in terms of a continuation, obviously it's not continuing the previous movie. It is still part of the franchise. It is the Australian Bond because it does use the character in a different world. I guess it doesn't include, well, I guess maybe it does. Like how Bond's villain doesn't recognize him anymore.
Yeah.
But still the same name. Stuff is still kind of happening. I think they really used what they could, and thankfully, I say, they didn't have writers that were like, okay, it has to do this. Like, this is a different adventure using the same name.
Hello and welcome to Potato Chip Pictures, the movie franchise review podcast. My name is B. Sammy Davis.
Hi, still Justin.
And today we're looking at 2019's Child's Play, the reboot of the franchise.
Officially
Justin,
this time.
Yeah. Tell me about this particular movie.
We don't really know the particulars as to why only 2 years after Cult of Chucky this came out. We've got 2019, different director, Lars Klevberg is the notes, screenwriter of Tyler Burton Smith. I am not aware of any other films credits that these folks have, but the producer was David Katzenberg and Seth Graham Smith. None of these names look like they have any previous credits in the other ones, unless maybe they were something other than director, screenwriter, producer.
And I'm almost positive David Katzenberg was not, because he's the only name in this whole list that I kind of recognize.
Sounds familiar? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how the hell they spent $10 million to get $44.9 million back. That's better than the first one.
Mm-hmm.
This is odd.
Yeah, they spent less money than in 1988, and they got $700,000 more than they got in 1988. That's wild.
I don't know if that's like a great amount of return, like comparatively versus $1988, but it's more technically.
Yeah,
that's a win.
Technically. I mean, with inflation, obviously it is less. Like, I'm not going to go and pull up an inflation calculator, but 44.2 million inflates to, I'm not going to say much, but definitely more than 2019 dollars, you know?
Well, those are the credits and the values of the numbers. I don't know that I really loop this in as part of the first era of Chucky franchise. Like, we had how many movies? What, 7 with
I think
Chucky, the
7.
doll,
Yeah.
good guy doll, and then we have one that for the return, I feel like it should have done another one, but it's been 7 years now. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. And the TV series has been a
mm,
relative hit. Like, at least one person I know likes it. And they're on, what, season 3, season 4? I'm
oh
not
boy.
watching it, so I could be wrong. But there are
Well,
multiple seasons of this show. So they probably don't feel a need to run
yeah.
back to the theaters. And you also don't want to cannibalize your audience or
Yeah.
create brand confusion. All of this stuff that people talked about in the 80s and 90s that Marvel proved to be just stupid.
But
And
then why? Why does this exist?
that's the quandary. And this
But
one also has, relatively speaking, a lot of star power. We've
yeah,
got
it may have
Aubrey
been a bit
Plaza.
early. Like, she's the big name, sure, but I don't know if the other people are quite so big. But yeah,
Well, I was going to
continue.
say Brian Tyree Henry might be in his early stages of stardom. Like, he's in so many movies now. And
Hmm.
frankly, this was kind of a surprising role. I genuinely looked him up to be like, is this really the guy from the Eternals? Like, this is weird. And
It's from
sure enough,
something
it
else
was.
too. I don't
The
remember what.
Godzilla versus Kong movies, the two ends of the MonsterVerse movies. He's the conspiracy theorist
No, no,
in
no.
those.
He's in Bullet Train. He's Lemon.
He
That's
is
what I
also
remember.
in
I
Bullet
was
Train
like,
as a charming character.
yeah,
I
he's awesome in that.
was gonna say
Okay.
he's one of the best parts of that movie. I think that movie is kind of average, and he's one of the things that brings it up. Like,
Hmm.
if he weren't in it, I would probably say it was a below average movie, but
Gotcha.
he's genuinely good in that movie compared to so many others. And so I was excited every time he was on screen, and he's
Yeah.
genuinely good in this one too.
Mhm.
And then, of course, the biggest name of them all, Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, the Joker.
I forgot. I forgot 100%. At no point did his voice betray him. It was odd.
There, see, and I'm familiar enough with Mark Hamill because I grew up as a Star Wars nerd. I watched it multiple times a year. I had friends where our whole thing was just like, "Hey, my dad's watching Star Wars. Come over." We would go to each other's house. So like I was very familiar with his voice. And then, of course, Batman the Animated Series came out. And then over the years, there's all these documentaries and other films that he has been in. And so I was pretty familiar with his voice. But even with as familiar as I was, it was really only like 3 times where I was like, yep, that's definitely Mark Hamill. Other times I was like, this is a freaky doll.
I think I began the movie expecting it to kind of hit the same steps as Chucky, and she gets a doll and it's kind of used and broken. It's like, okay, it's getting there. I think it when things go off the rails because it's just AI, it feels different than it being a serial killer.
We gotta go back then. We gotta go back to to the factory, to the creation of evil Chucky.
Evil Buddy who gives himself the name of Chucky or something like that.
Mhm. And it's
Yeah.
all because one guy is getting fired, so he takes all of the safety controls off of the motherboard.
They're getting yelled at in I don't know which language it is.
It was either
Um
Vietnamese or Taiwanese. It was
but
Southeastern Asia, and I just can't remember what
s-
the subtitles said.
so the American audience really knows what's happening. The entry controls for the AI safeguards is all in English.
He programs exclusively in English.
It was a little bit of a, okay, well, I
And then another thing that immediately caught my eye is that as we're panning to the guy who's about to get fired, the very first workstation we get to is this lady with these huge motherboards. And I'm like, that's never going to fit inside a doll. What are you doing with those?
Who knows? We need the audience to know.
Yeah, they're computers. Yeah, and then I guess he wasn't programming a motherboard. He was programming a CPU.
One Chucky. One doll.
One at a time. They all get assembled one at a time, including putting the chips in place and programming them.
The glory of an assembly line, 19 whatever.
It seems so inefficient to program them on the assembly line.
What exactly do you want to say about the birth of Chucky?
It is my biggest thumbs down of this entire movie. It is the thing that I genuinely had trouble getting over, like the ease in which one person can create evil just by manually turning off all the safeguards. And I'm just sitting here like, oh, this is kind of dumb, but then something happened in the news where, okay, we're going to get some current events, which is going to date this podcast. And who knows, maybe in a year when we're all extinct, the robots can listen to this as part of their history. But what happened a couple of weeks ago, I don't remember the exact date, was Anthropic had their AI with the Pentagon, and they essentially, there was conflict because they had said it would go against their terms of service if an AI had been developed on their platform that was able to take a human life. And so the Pentagon threw this big fit. They are currently trying to give Anthropic bad press all over. And then OpenAI, the creators of ChatGPT, the next day stepped in to say, we'll take that contract and we'll let you develop AI that will kill people. And this stupid movie that has a dude manually turning off safeguards and creating an evil AI suddenly becomes real close to science fact. And that's so now the movie's made me mad twice. It was such a stupid concept, and then it came true in real life before my eyes. So I'm on the fence. Part of me is like, wow, for 2019, this movie was incredibly ahead of its time. But then the other part of me is like, it's so stupid that you just typed off to turn off safety features.
And the evil just happens because of misunderstandings,
Yeah.
But then the robot realizes, I do like killing people.
I am into this.
It seems like it. I feel like the prime directive is, I'm supposed to keep you happy. Like, well, that is still AI currently.
Yeah.
Just make sure you come back and ask me more questions. I'm going to bias my answers too.
Hopefully this podcast will go until one of us, most likely me, is targeted by a ChatGPT drone for saying something that I shouldn't have online. But until then, we're going to keep going forward. And I, hats off to this movie with its stupid premise for being correct. You can create an evil AI just by turning off safety features.
That easy. Make sure just with the right prompt. I mean, I kind of took myself out of the current events to just be like, oh, okay, he tells it to be evil. There's no magic off the internet to make it. I guess it is still magic off the internet, you know?
Yeah, but it does seem to be Andy and his friends and what they're watching on television that turns him evil. Because
that made me laugh.
yeah, like he's got the breadth of the internet, and that doesn't do it. He's like, all right, I'm ready to go. I'm plugged in. Let's do this thing. But then them watching something where they're watching some serial killer movie. Yeah.
Seemed like
if it's not actually Texas Chainsaw Massacre, then it's, something that certainly wants to look like it.
Oh, yeah.
And the kids are laughing at it. And so Chucky's like, well, this brings them joy. the funniest...
Do some murder.
Yeah. The funniest scene to me in the whole beginning of the movie is watching Chucky practice his stabbing, where he's just stabbing the air and no one is like watching him. He's just grabbed a knife and he's just practicing. And like most of the beginning of this movie was either distracting to me or just kind of comical in a way where I don't think it wanted to be. And so I just kept kind of being like, this movie sucks. Like, what am I watching? But then it takes a turn pretty, like, I don't want to say quick because it is kind of gradual, but they're like, I would say around the second act or, about a third of the way through the movie, it started to turn on me. And I was like, I'm having fun. Like, I'm kind of digging this.
I think the Chucky strangling the cat and then being stopped to Chucky just going all the way and killing the cat was the initial like, yeah. And props to the child actor, like the horror and sadness and grief and just disbelief and guilt and shame of like, I did say that and my robot carried it through and killed my cat to make me happy. It's like, oof. And then the next one is like, oh wow.
It is such an escalation.
Yeah. It's like, oh, the cat. It's like, oh, well, it's like, okay, the cat might have got run over by a car or something. The cat's missing. Yeah. It's like, oh, the human is dead now and we have to gift wrap a face. And I do think having the friends eventually get in on it was like, yeah, this is horrifying if you step back a little bit from all the other Chuckies where I forget his name, gets his belly cut open and his guts fall on the
Red Man.
Red Man. It's like that was like kind of ha because I think Jennifer says a pun or something when she leaves him, something like that too.
Yeah.
That's a human face on a watermelon, and your new friend is throwing up their guts because it's disgusting.
Yeah, it is horrible. And I gotta say, I was legitimately shocked. Maybe I'm a bit of a prude, but when Shane, Karen's boyfriend, Karen is the mother, played by Aubrey Plaza. When Shane drives home in a huff and we see that he's got a real family with a wife and kids, I was like, what in the 1980s booming America is this?
He's got two families? What in the world? How do you support that?
That is wild.
I couldn't quite tell. I felt like I didn't rewind to see, but I'm trying to read and see if Shane like gets out of his car, puts his wedding ring back on.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't tell if his collar looked like, like a pastor collar, those little white thingies.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
I couldn't tell, and the wiki doesn't really say, It
Yeah.
briefly looked like it, and I was like, "Oh man, the movie's going all the way with this horrible man," because he's a jerk to Andy and to her Karen.
Yeah, he's not a good person. And
No.
so it is, gosh, it's so funny that, like, I had to jump into the group chat and be like, secret family? What in the world? Like, it was so, yeah. So that was what got me. That was what really surprised me. And I hate to say it, but his death might be my favorite in this particular movie. It is drawn out.
Yeah.
It takes a while. There's a lot of build up to it. We don't really see a lot of Chucky.
It's all hitting, scurrying around.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, it was a top notch kill. It was just the right amount of tension, but also just the right amount of silly. And yeah, and then the head on the watermelon was just the icing on the cake to top it off.
I felt like it was the middle of this movie was someone desperately saying, "Hey, I have a really good idea for what an uninhibited AI would do when it's trying to make its owner happy, and there's a bad man that's there, and there's a cat, and like all these things that it wants to do." So the middle for me is pretty solid. I enjoy it the most.
I think the middle, really, I'm going to say the middle all the way to, gosh, close to the end. Like, we're talking the last 15 to 20 minutes when the finale starts to kick in. But building up to that, from the middle to the finale, I think is a really good movie. Like, if you had just tuned in for that, you might be like, oh, that's a weird looking Chucky. But then you'd be like, this is psychotic and good. And these relationships between all these people are so interesting. Like, Andy gift wrapping it and then pretending it's a gift for the neighbor who plays along because she's a sweet old lady.
Yeah. I do think I didn't quite follow the murder of the sweet old lady as being necessary to Andy's happiness. Like, okay.
I mean, Chucky says it. He's like, Andy can't have any other best friend.
No. I guess it is my least favorite kill, I would assume. But I'll agree
because she's such a sweet old lady. You're just like, there's no way to kill her that makes the audience go, yeah, or oh no. Like, it's more of a, ah, man, I didn't want her to die. Like, she was cool.
But even that was like, oh, I'm gonna take an Uber to bingo, and oh wait, it's all fine. We get to bingo. Oh wait, it's actually not fine. Oh wait, Chucky gets in the car. I was a little like, wait, how did all this actually go down? I'm not gonna rewind. Okay, it happened, and
this is the point where, okay, so Chucky gets an upgrade midway through the movie, and during my second favorite kill, he's thrown away, and the building's maintenance worker finds him in the trash can.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and starts like overclocking him, finding all these new like aftermarket parts, and he's putting this stuff together, and he finds him new clothes, and I think he wants to sell the doll later.
About eBay.
Yeah, but he doesn't get a chance to do that because he fully networks Chucky, and now he's part of the entire Kazlan network. Kazlan being this universe's uber megacorp that has all of the AI stuff connected.
Apparently, all of the electronics in the entire world are connected to them.
Pretty much. This would be like if Apple, Google, and Amazon were one company. You know, so like 10 years in the future. But he oh man, it's such a gruesome murder. This
yeah.
maintenance man, for some reason, like I can't even remember the order of events. Chucky's just messing with all the electronics, and eventually the
Yeah.
guy climbs onto a table, like I don't even know what the tool is called.
He does cut his calves, so I immediately when he cut him, I was like, "Watch your ankles!
Yeah,
It's still a thing."
it's still Chucky. You gotta watch your ankles.
Yeah, he does
Yeah,
climb. I
that's
think
why
just to
he
get away
starts
from that.
climbing up, because he wants to
Yeah,
get to higher ground. And for some reason, the table saw is also networked.
yeah, everything. Yeah, it like tips over, and then he has to hold himself up on a heating pipe, and
Hmm.
it's a little bit of a setup to get him to get
Oh yeah,
sliced his leg off
it's
on the table saw.
so over the top, so over the top. It is one of the most absurd kills I have seen in a movie, and I've seen most of the Saw movies. So I am familiar with over
Absurd
the top
murders.
kills, and this is one of my favorite over the top murders.
Well, I think it's one of the the old lady didn't deserve it. This guy, 100% uh, creepy, and then dissecting Chucky. It's like, well, he kind of. It's okay that he's dead. Yeah,
See,
like
and I'm
Shane.
sitting here thinking, like, okay, he never came on to anyone. Maybe he tried to ask Karen on a date, but he never like forced himself on anyone that I
He's
remember.
got cameras in their bathrooms. I'm
That's
like,
true. I forgot he does have the creepy camera set up. I forgot
yeah,
about the creepy camera setup. In my head, I was thinking about all the previous scenes, and I'm like, he's a fat,
oh yeah,
nerdy dude, and that's the reason
yes.
we're supposed to hate him. But then you
Nope.
reminded me he also they
He's
justify
also
it. They're like,
creepy.
but he is creepy.
He is over the line of acceptability.
Yeah. But yeah, I will agree with you that Detective Norris's mother,
Oh,
Doreen, that's her name.
I forgot that his name was Mike Norris.
Yep, we've got all three characters share the names of the first movie. We got Karen, Andy, and Mike, and they're all in this movie. But they don't become a happy family by the end of it. In fact, Mike comes off as the creepiest one at the beginning of the movie.
I mean, yeah, I do think. I guess we only really see him first when Andy's hanging out in the hallway, and
Yeah, and he just comes up to be like, "Hey, want to have dinner with me? Want to be my date to my mom's house?"
yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, "Oh, creepy vibes,
I
creepy
was already
vibes."
charmed by this man, so I would say I would have been less creeped out. It's like, well, he seems like a good dude from the other movies.
And, you know, briefly, I didn't even know it was him. I was really like, he looks so familiar, but he was so in that moment, and I was so in that moment that I was like, what a creep. This dude is so weird. And then for the rest of the movie, he just gets better and better, and becomes a character that you care about, and you're like, oh man, he's really cool. But I do have to point out, not a very good introduction. Not a
No.
good introduction.
Where I think I enjoy the second act the most, I really enjoy the focus on the tension for the kid. Like Karen is
Mhm.
kind of in and out. Like she's not as involved as first Child's Play Karen, it feels like.
Yeah.
Um,
And
where Andy in the first movie goes out to an abandoned house inside the city. This Andy hangs out with friends and tries to hide a skinned human face. And what else do they do? Nothing else really dies until the grandma, right? Or the mom.
Yeah, I think so. Because the main tension And I was about to say it's the other thing that gets a big thumbs up to me. Casting an older Andy really does allow for a little bit more insanity. Like,
Antics.
yeah, well, and for me, it was it would make me go literally insane the way that Chucky is treating Andy. Like they get separated. One of the neighbor kids gets the doll, and the doll continues to harass Andy. And like everybody thinks Andy is crazy because it's just a doll. Dolls aren't alive. Like
that's the
I got it in
same
there.
thing. That's the same thing.
I had to get it in there, and I'm glad I got it in there.
I think it's completely fair because it helps set up the fact that nobody realizes it until it's too late, and then they're all in the store and everybody's getting dead.
Yeah. And you know, the one of the best scenes in the movie is really right before that, when, you know, people are finding out about these killings and they're pointing to Andy, and Andy's pointing to Chucky, and everyone's like, it doesn't, like, it can't do that. And at one point, the doll is in the apartment, we think, but it could just be networked, but it's, you know, terrorizing Andy, and he grabs a baseball bat and starts tearing the apartment up.
Busts up the TV, and Karen comes in. It's like, what is he doing?
Yeah. And I was just like, this is a 10 out of 10 scene. This is exactly how I would feel if I were a 13-year-old kid being harassed by a living doll. I would go insane, or at least the world would think I did.
Yeah, I think it is a great movie with different, if they had put in different names, maybe you don't get $44 million. But I think there's merits in pieces of it that, like, what you call it? There's that other AI doll movie, Megan. That I feel like it made money.
I hope we do that. Oh yeah, I mean, well enough to get a sequel and a spinoff. So yeah.
So I think it had merits on its own right, and then I will say, Act 3 definitely was throw everything out the window to make it 13-year-old versus Chucky. We have to have the final showdown. Like, okay, well,
there is one funny part. There is one funny part to all of the mayhem that goes down. Right before the mayhem goes down and everybody's rushing into the store for the Buddy 2.0 or whatever. Yeah, Buddy 2. Chucky, there's a guy putting on a costume, and Chucky gets inside the mask and stabs him in the neck. And he starts stumbling outside, and then he falls down, and finally the mask comes off, and he's bleeding everywhere, but he's still not dead. Mike runs over and he's like, you got to put pressure on this. And then everything goes down, and he starts to get up, and a drone goes into his neck to finish the job with another stab. And I was just like, that's so ludicrous, but it's also classic Chucky. So
just gets his head chopped off by the thing, right?
I think so. He's fully dead the second time. But the first time,
not dead enough.
You would think he would be dead, but nope, a knife through the neck was not enough.
Yeah, that's funny, and it also just kind of started losing steam for me. I'm like, okay, where?
That's also when this movie starts to fall apart.
Like, the kids are the gate's closing. Oh wait, but Andy and his friends are still in here. Okay, Andy and his friends lift up the gate to get out because this containment whatever dropped down when stuff went off. And it's like, this is starting to kind of pull rabbits out of hats. Like, yes, it's an AI doll, but hold on. That closed, they opened it, and now Andy's gonna close it again because he has to face off against Chucky. Like,
Now I'm going to give the movie one bit of credit. No, I'm going to take that bit of credit away. Never mind.
Never mind.
I was going to say that I do believe when AI decides to take over and destroy the world, it will all happen at once, and everything that can be networked will be networked, and it will become a part of the weapon. And so I was sitting here like, well, it does make sense that now suddenly Chucky can connect to drones and televisions and blenders and forklifts and all the other dolls. Like, he is fully networked in the Caslin network.
Bluetooth.
He's not even the
3.0.
doll anymore. Yeah, like he is the network. Except then I remembered he's been doing that for a while now. And now he's just doing it to create chaos in the store. But he continues to inhabit the body of the doll.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that is his main thing. He, even though he's fully networked and he's connected to all of these things, he is not moving his consciousness out. He is still in the doll.
So
you know?
When we get a final stab in the doll, then it's done. It's over, right?
Yep, that's pretty much
it.
it.
I should have realized what you just said, because the stinger at the credits is, oh wait, there's still red eyes around. It's like,
yeah.
well, it is a little bit like Ultron. We didn't really take care of everything.
Yeah. Well, and it's, it's got its moments in that finale, but mostly it's pretty thumbs down. And the final conclusion really irritated me when we're in the back of the warehouse and Andy is being cautious, and then he sees some red glowing eyes and just moves away from them while his mother is actively freaking out more than when he was just walking up. She's like, and he just doesn't care. He's not looking. He's not. He irritates me so much.
Yeah. I appreciate more his panic and what do you call it? The acting of grief and surprise over like the cat and the face. He did a couple of really good screams where it's like, yeah, I'd probably scream at a face on a watermelon exactly like that.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna say he's still a really good Andy. I didn't like this warehouse scene.
Yeah, the third act, inside the warehouse versus inside the store. Warehouse is the climax, but it's just a little rougher. It's not. I don't know. It's not. I feel like, yes, we're not supposed to expect physics and whatnot to be fair with Chucky. He's supposed to overpower and be stronger, just because he's the bad guy. But I feel like there's like some feat of strength that I was very incredulous at. Like, hold on.
Didn't he pin Andy at one point?
Maybe.
Like, I'm trying to remember what it was, because it was something where it was like just incredulous enough where I was like, okay, I get what you're doing, but come on.
Yeah.
He's still a doll. Like, you can get him.
Yeah. It was like they were trying to hold him down at some point.
Yeah, something. I can't remember what it was either. But I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
There was something where it was like, he's not that strong.
Yeah.
Like, come on. And then, I genuinely thought when Andy, at one point, Karen is being hanged by the neck, and Andy jumps across with a knife to try to cut the rope, and he and the doll are bouncing on that rope so much, I thought he had killed his mother from a broken neck. I thought this movie would be such a wild movie if that was what happened we kill the doll and he's like, Mom, I did it, and he runs over and he has killed her with a broken neck. That might have saved it. Actually, that might have made this a little more interesting, but no, she's fine. She's
fine.
Okay.
I honestly thought that she had found a gun somewhere in the warehouse instead of Mike having come back from the dead. So he does shoot Chucky out of the air. Do they stab him anymore, or they just shoot him that one
I
time?
think someone stabs him. It might be Karen who does the final stab, but someone stabs him in the glowy heart bit.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm pretty sure he gets one more before he's killed. Uh, and so everybody got a chance at Chucky, I think. I think Karen also gets a chance at Chucky.
Maybe.
But yeah, I was a little bit upset. Like, I know it's bad because he's a really good character played by a really good actor, but I was kind of upset that Mike was back. I was like, you died.
Yep. He almost died on screen.
Yeah.
He was still moving just a little bit.
Yeah, the camera cut away before he could hold still.
Finish bleeding out. If it doesn't happen on camera,
Yeah.
So, I mean, third act, not my favorite. Of all of the acting, I think Kid Andy again kills it overall. Like,
yeah.
Doreen, not great. Mike, all right. Karen.
See, I think Doreen was great. I'm going to push back on you. It goes Andy Doreen for me.
Well, you're wrong. So, Karen, I think Amy Aubrey Plaza, the bigger name. I think maybe she does a good job of being Karen, I guess.
Yeah.
But
she's definitely not playing the typical Aubrey Plaza sarcastic character,
The beginning of the movie, a little bit.
A little bit. But for the most part, she's a caring mother who is frantic and trying to hold down a relationship and keep her family together. Like, I like, it's distracting at the beginning, but then I buy it pretty quickly. I'm like, yep, she's doing it. This is a good part for her.
Shane is a garbage man, acted by a fantastic actor. Good job, dude.
Yep.
It's like the creepy guy in the previous movie. Fantastic job. Shane was an asshole.
Yep. He killed it in that regard. Absolute masterpiece. And then you had already mentioned it. I liked overall Detective Mike Norris. There were a couple of rough parts, very beginning and very end for the character are my rough parts. But otherwise, I really liked him and kind of forgot that it was Brian Tyree Henry playing it. I was like, who is this guy? He's so good.
I did like his friends that show up. They're a little bit caricatures, like the girl, when the doll gets separated and the other kid has it, she kind of strong arms the kid to, be a strong girl character. Like, okay, sure.
Yeah. They don't get a lot of screen time, but I like them.
The other friend was a very categorical, kind of gross teenager dude. Like, laughing with your mouth full of popcorn is, that's a big pet peeve. Like, I'm sure that happens all the time at movie theaters, but I don't have to see it. It's disgusting. So they did a fine job.
I'm not a big fan of Pug, but I do like Fallon, and together I like the two of them as friends. I'm going to say the stinker character for the kids were the quote unquote bullies, the neighbors that Andy gets in a fight with. He's like, I don't know. I felt like they were trying to make him like some British street thug. And I was just like, I'm not buying it. Like, he's just another neighbor kid. Like, you've had your fight, now make up so you guys can still be neighbors and friends. Like, I was having trouble buying the villainy of it, and he's just not on screen enough to develop him as a rival. So that's my only thumbs down as far as the kid actors go.
Yeah, I think it was an interesting storyline to bring in other kids that eventually are horrified, and now all three of them can't convince anybody. But also, I feel like they didn't try to convince them because it is so horrible. They hide it. It's like, oh, this is somebody's dead. Like, we should tell our parents or something like that. And I think they kind of discuss the main theme of, but it's a doll. Nobody's gonna believe us
Yeah.
that happened. Like,
Yeah, dolls don't kill people.
yes,
There, I
there
got
you
the
got it again.
entire thing in eventually.
Yeah, and those are the main characters, really. Like, I don't feel. Sometimes I fault movies on being too uh local, like they only happen in
Mm.
one spot. I think this one did fine. Like, I
Hmm.
was okay at the mart, I was okay at the house, I was okay at Shane's house. Like, these are places that don't need a lot of context. We only know the people that live in the house of Shane's house from when he busts his legs and they have their
Yeah.
headphones on. They don't hear him. I'm like, well, that's enough for me to be like, well, he's not going to get any help. Yep, he's
Hmm.
gonna die. Um,
He's
all,
on his own.
all the places felt like they had enough. So, uh, location wise, enjoyed that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm gonna say the overall, I feel like I probably had some turnoffs going into this movie, and then seeing Chucky's face for the first time, I was like, "Whoa, that is
Yeah.
ugly." And
Yeah.
and so I probably came in with some negative views, and then the movie just kind of forced me to recognize that it was better than I had given it credit for. So
100%. Yes.
like we're talking bad about the end because the end is pretty bad, but the rest of that movie was kind of surprisingly good. So
Yes.
well, let's get into it. On this podcast, we do ratings, not grades. The primary difference is where you find the average. In a grade, the average is a 7 out of 10, whereas in a rating, the average is a 5 out of 10. And we like a 5 out of 10 because that's where the middle is. So, with that as our grading rubric, Justin, do you have anything to add to justify whatever score you are about to give it?
Um, I think my grading happened in 2 points, or rating, because it is the final movie of the Chucky franchise. Like, this is Chucky's domain. Maybe it's not in the same universe, but I don't think it was a better movie for being part of Chucky's franchise. Take out
Mm.
all of the names and put them in a different, rename everybody. And I think it's a better movie if it wasn't being compared to the other films. I
Mm.
don't like it as a part of the Chucky franchise. Like, because it isn't. It does its own thing really well for 7/10 of the movie. I love those pieces. Those that, like, Watermelon Face is horrifying. I could not really look at it because of all the Chucky shows, I've watched everything, and this one was like, oh, stomach turning. I didn't really look at the cat, but the face one, and the fact that it was persistent and it stuck around, and it's like, I want this horrible thing off screen. um, so part of the Chucky franchise, this is a this is a 5. I
Okay.
want to rate
I
it more because it's better than that. Um, but I don't know how to give just one score because I want to make my complaint known. I like this movie better without it being part of the franchise. We are rating movies of franchises. Like,
Mm-hmm.
the way that I enjoyed the Australian Bond film, because, hey, it's not quite like the other Bonds. And hey, he gets happy for a minute. Let's stop it right there before she dies. This one, change the names, and this is an excellent movie. I enjoy it. So it's not 5. It's not 5. It's I'm gonna go with a 6.5 because it is on par with Bride of Chucky in terms of enjoyability. I bring it back down to 6. 6 because I just can't get over the fact that I dislike it more when I think, oh, this is supposed to be a reboot of Chucky. I'm like, well, Chucky did its own thing and was awesome. This is awesome without having to be Chucky. I feel like it takes away from it to keep it under the umbrella. Like I
get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like by making it in the franchise, they heard it.
Yes.
If it had been called like Tommy or just like
Megan.
If it had been called Megan.
Something different. The tension is there. The horror is there. Like you have good actors and nothing relies on Chucky, whose shirt you can get at Hot Topic. You can't get a Buddy shirt at Hot Topic. This is a different doll, and the reboot. I wouldn't say it wasted time, but it. I think whoever had charge of making the story probably should have just made a different movie with that story, because it doesn't have to be Chucky. And I like, for as much as they cuts people, I don't think it would have been too bad copyright wise to have another AI powered doll, because hey, it's not voodoo, it's not a serial killer. Your rating, go ahead.
Well, it's so funny. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I've listened to those episodes, but when we were doing Conan, I vaguely remember feeling like the reboot might have been better if it had not been called Conan. Like if they had just made it some fantasy movie starring Aquaman.
Yeah.
And maybe, like, I don't remember. I genuinely don't remember. It's been that long since I've listened to those episodes. But I completely disagree with you, and I think it's wonderful that this is called Chucky.
Okay.
I think that they made, like, a real shot at doing something different. Like they said, here's the imagery that you know and love. This is the stuff that you think you are prepared for, but it's not going to be what you think you are prepared for. We are doing something different. It's the Beatles when they did any of their psychedelic stuff. Like you might think you know what you're getting, but it's not gonna be that. Like it's gonna be different. And like I said, I came in with kind of a low view, and then I was distracted by the stars, and then the movie won me over in a big way. And then it got to the end and it stunk in a big way. And so despite having like a totally different feeling than you did, I'm also at a 6. I'm like, it's not the best. There's not a lot that's great about it, but there's just enough where I'm like, I had a lot of fun watching this movie. It is above average, but it's not anywhere close to the other movies in the franchise that really got me revved up. Yeah. And those ones topped out at a 7. Like those ones still had things that were really kind of distracting in their stinkiness. And this one had 2 big stinky points for me the very beginning and the very end. And yet I still had so much fun with it. And I do appreciate that they took a risk, that they were like, it's not the Child's Play, And I wonder if I could forgive other franchises doing that. What if we had a 007 where Bond is not a secret agent? Maybe he's a criminal. Maybe he's 007 in an agency like, I almost said Hydra. What on earth? Spectre. That's what it was in Bond. Or Star Wars, the thing that, the franchise that was most important to me as a kid. What if that had a reboot that was just totally different, but still
Same
had all the
names.
same names? Yeah. Everything being so similar, still lightsabers, still the Force, but none of it is what I'm expecting to see. Could I embrace that? And I hope I could because of Child's Play 2019. But then I'm thinking about it and I'm like, I don't know if I could. This might be a one-off where I was just surprised at how good it ended up being, but I might not be able to accept that from most franchises.
Yeah, I think that is fair. It's hilarious that we're both 6s, and
Yes.
I dislike that it's connected, and you enjoy that it's connected.
Yep, we got to the same score. We just, got there from different streets.
Yeah.
But that makes an easy show average of a 6 out of 10. And then next week on our in-house spreadsheet, I still have the numbers blanked out so we can't see what our ratings are. But next week we are going to talk about the franchise as a whole. We might talk a little bit about the TV show, but neither of us have watched it, so there's not a lot that we can add.
Not much that I know of it.
Yeah. And then, of course, we are going to be revealing our next franchise next week.
Oh, well, I mean, for the wrap up, we'll say more, but it's enjoyable to get to the end of the actual last movie. And, I do miss the previous Chucky because this one was kind of just the one timer, but no shame in getting a 6 out of 10. Above average.
It's above the average. Yep.
So thank you, Chucky and Buddy. And thank you also, audience, for listening to our show. If you enjoyed it, like we've enjoyed it, please like, comment, review, subscribe, all of the buttons that you can find on your platform, however they offer it. We're slowly growing, and I appreciate those that have come back to listen to more. It's always an adventure. Go ahead and share with friends and family. Generally, we're suitable for teens and up, I would say. I don't know.
Yeah, we've had a couple of swears that have slipped, but I think both of us try to stay like PG-13.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So, as always, you can suggest franchises if we haven't already covered them or kind of planned them. We wouldn't really know our schedule yet, but you can always suggest ones maybe we haven't thought of or are actually franchisally connected by emailing us at potatochippicturespod@gmail.com. But until our wrap-up episode, watch your ankles. Goodbye.
Goodbye.